Hello and welcome back to Plague Tale Innocence Any Percent tutorial. We're gonna talk about chapter 3 today. The first cutscene in this chapter is one that I often manage to skip kind of faster, like before it starts, but not always. After skipping the cutscene, just walk over to the ladder. Don't walk there, or you'll lose a lot of time. This first section is kind of simple. We just have to walk over here after this little dialogue. We have to climb over this, which is, I guess, the first instance of like a climb that we're exactly not supposed to be doing. I recommend you try your own setup for it, but basically what I do is just look at this corner over here and just like try go back and forth like this. As you can see, there's the climb input that shows a little bit. So I would just walk over to this corner and go back and forth on these steps right here while spamming the climb button. Basically spamming is not necessarily like always the best idea. Sometimes it's best to just do it once confidently, but it works enough to be worth it for me, at least. So afterwards we just run over here, try not to fall, of course. We have to fall down here where the gate is. Hugo just wants to go see flowers, but we don't want to do that, so. And just walk over here. Nothing fancy, just a little bit to optimize. Can't really do anything here. If you see the monk go backwards, just reload checkpoints. Sometimes it gets a little bit confused and it just takes longer for him to regain his senses than to reload checkpoints, so just reload the checkpoint. You can't really go ahead of this monk, so just because you have to wait for him to get there for the cutscene to play out, so just follow the monk. So this is the beginning of the torch section, so instead of showing you immediately, I'll take a moment to explain you how to do the torch glitch and then we'll come back to this section. So, I'll take a moment now to explain how the torch clip works. It's honestly not the hardest way to clip through walls in this in this game, for sure. The most annoying part is like it costs quite a little bit of time to, fail it, because the animation to drop the torch and pick it up are kind of slow, so it eats up a little bit of time if you continue failing it. But what we use to clip through walls is basically just the animation that Amisha does when picking up the torch, and how she turns around depending on how she's positioned compared to the torch. Basically, if you want to clip through a wall, you have to drop the torch either diagonal like this, pointing at the wall a little bit, or it's okay even if it's like parallel to it, like a little bit more like this. Honestly, it's not like completely precise kind of clip. You don't need like particular setups or anything, but it is a little bit finicky because you don't really have that much control over how Amisha drops the torch. But basically you can't have the torch too far from the wall, or Amisha just won't, of course, clip through. But it can't be too close to the wall. But well, this particular clip is quite easy, so maybe it's not the best. But if the torch drops too close to the wall, like this, maybe Amisha will have a hard time picking it up in the right direction, I guess, and might not be able to clip through. But of course it can't be too far from the wall, or Amisha just won't clip through it, right? I do believe the only way to do it is in this direction. I'm not completely sure. In any case, this is definitely good enough for me. And by this direction, I mean with the wall on the left side of Amisha and the torch on like the right side. As for the inputs, I just drop the torch with whatever is you have set it up to be. Then put myself like on the left, as close to the wall as possible, pick up the torch and just hold left and forwards at the same time towards the direction I wanted to go through, and that's usually enough to do it. So I guess I can show you slowly one last time, and then we can go through like the actual clips you have to go through in this section. Now, for this section, you just walk over to this corner, which is the bottom right compared to where you came from. We have to clip through this wall right here. You just, it's one of the most annoying ones because the fact that it's still light up makes it a little bit more finicky, but you just walk over this part of the room. Try to have the torch fall in a nice position and then just clip through. Just push it, you know, don't keep holding left and right and forwards to clip through. You should be able to make it. Sometimes it often happens to me to make it like only second try because I don't know, the torch being lit up makes it a little bit more annoying. Then walk over here. Honestly, you can clip through this wall like any place, but I like to do it like at this part right here. Just maybe this is, yeah. So I walk over here and clip through right here. The problem right there was that the torch was too close to the wall, so I couldn't do the right animation. Then we get to this dark hallway. I like to use these monks, I guess, as reference and clip through here. It's you get really used to this torch clip, to be honest, but it's normal to fail it a couple of times. It's not a big deal. So after clipping through this wall right here, you'll actually be able to run again. We are in this part here, which is the next section. So in this section, we have to get through these two wooden fences right in front of us. We have to go towards those statues right there. This one we actually don't clip through with the torch. We rather go through the geometry like this, and then walk over like this and make it look very easy, but you will have trouble doing it. Basically, I recommend you go straight with the mission inside this corner until you get like in this part between the log and the column, and then turn around and walk towards the other log. As you can see, very weird mechanics right there, but the geometry in this game is kind of weird. So what I recommend for sure, as you can see, I keep falling off, so it's normal for you to fail it, I think, a couple of times. You can kind of save it sometimes if you're good enough, but Amisha and Hugo have like these tendencies to just drift off of it, which is very annoying. But you just go here. Basically, the way you go on the log is, I think, using Hugo. Hugo just clips on it, and then you can follow him, quote unquote. I recommend you be confident and just walk forwards, as like taking little steps makes it more likely that you will just like slide off like this, and once you start sliding, there's no way back. And stop like right in front of this other log that goes over the fence. Take your time positioning yourself in this. I recommend you use the right and left buttons to do it rather than going forwards and backwards, because then you'll have to move the camera again towards it and you will slide off. But position yourself as like as far to the left as possible, and looking at this next the log, and then just run over it. Be confident. After you go over the log, you definitely will probably get stuck like in this geometry right here. Just move your camera like a madman and you will get unstuck. Don't worry about it. Here, this next fence we actually go through with another torch clip. I like to do it like a little bit on the right, I guess, but it often takes me a couple of tries because, I don't know, the torch likes to fall too far behind. And then we are through. There's actually, if you saw, a checkpoint here, which is very nice because not only the next part is more dangerous, but this checkpoint also saves... Can you shut up, Amicia? Okay, thanks. And this checkpoint actually saves the torch as well, so you will probably find the torch here if you were to reload the checkpoint. Let's actually demonstrate. Because, I don't know, it's, as you can see, we have this torch just floating, so at least you won't have to like restart the entire chapter if anything bad happens in the next section, which it might happen. So about this second torch section, just run over here. This is very finicky little geometry, and over to this wall. Be confident. Don't drop the torch too far on the left. So this is a place where the torch can just fall into the void. Let's see if I can make it happen. But it can happen that the torch falls into the void, you fall into the void, life sucks, etc, etc. It's just like it's a bad place to be for the torch. Here it is. Like I saw it like kind of falling. It might not happen now, but it can happen. There it is. Fell into the void, and you'll have to restart the checkpoint. So be kind of careful there. So after you walked over to this, I recommend like trying to stay over on the right side near this column here, because that's where the torch can fall off. You can also fall off sometimes, so you know, just be careful. So just point at this column, I guess, in my opinion, and then just clip through like any other. Just walk over that wall. That's fake. Here there's actually an invisible wall, but it's not a problem. We can clip through it like any other wall. It's actually very easy to clip through, so just no real setup, just do it. Follow this wall over to the right to this part, and you will fall through here. I like to call this a little pocket in time. There is we have to clip through the wall on the left. I'm not gonna move much here because this is actually a very dangerous place to be. It's kind of like a very problematic clip, the one that gives me the most problem. But yeah, we have to clip through that wall. Don't step too far backwards or you will like fall down into the void. If you are almost falling to the void, like try to use Hugo to save it, because of course it will lose you a lot of time to fall and having to start from the checkpoint from the second fence. But the clip is like any other, basically. You just drop the torch and then I clipped through too far forwards there, so I couldn't make it. But clip through here. And then you're here, and all you have to do is run away.